Mechanical Devices: The Abacus, Slide Rule, and Other Computers by Joseph Omilian. The abacus was invented in ancient times, specifically in ancient China, during the Ming Dynasty around 1300 BC. Now, a lot of ancient merchants used pebbles for counting and quantifying the amount of goods that they were going to trade or that they had in inventory. But this became a problem because they would just have too many pebbles. Now, to fix this, they would use larger stones to represent 10 pebbles, but even that became too much. So, this is what the abacus aims to solve. It is a good method of counting large numbers. The abacus, which is shown right here, is an ancient mathematical tool that dates back to 1300 BC in ancient China. It is used for counting, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, and it replaced the old technique of just using pebbles and stones to count out and keep track of the goods you were trading and how much you were making from them. So I'll show you how it works. This is just the normal unit. This would be tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, million, 10 million, 100 million, billion. Each one of these is 10, so this would be equal to this. 10, 1, 10. So to add, it's pretty simple. You just 3 plus 4, 7. Okay. 10 plus another 4, that would be 10. Plus the 4, 14. 10 plus 4. 1,000 minus, I don't know, 200. 800. So the abaci made ancient trade a lot easier because you have merchants who are now able to complete mathematical calculations with a tool instead of doing them all manually. Abaci also are basically the inspiration for all electronic calculators, and they eventually evolved into what we saw as the first form of the slide rule. Nowadays, abaci are mainly used for teaching purposes, and that is especially true for students who are visually impaired, as abaci gives them a better number sense with the physical ability to touch. So, the slide rule is another mathematical tool, this one only much less ancient, having been invented in the 1600s in England. It can be used for all basic math operations with the exception of subtraction, and it can also do more complex calculations like square roots. And this has been commonly used by engineers, scientists, astronauts, and it was even used on some of the lunar missions, including Apollo 11. Right here, I have a slide rule, which is used for different types of math operations like multiplication and division. And I know it looks like a normal ruler, but it actually is not used for measuring any sort of distance. I'll show you how you can multiply and get a whole times table of different answers. So first, you take this middle panel, as you can see it moves, and you find the number that you want to multiply everything by. So let's say I want to multiply everything by 2. Well, I'll put the 1 on this middle panel, put it on this 2. That's the 1, it's lined up to the 2. So now, if I want to see what 2 times 2 is, it's 4. And it has it written right there. If I want to see what 1.5 times 2 is, It's 3. It's right there at 1.5. If I want to see what 3 times 2 is, it's 6. I mean, it's that easy. And I could do this for 3 as well. See, now 1 is above the 3. Now I know 1 times 3, well, it's 3. 3 times 2, 6. So this is based off the relationship of numbers to each other, and it's all to scale. The impacts of the slide rule include making the abaci basically obsolete. It became the most common mathematical tool for calculations for a long period of time, basically up until the modern calculator was made mainstream, and the modern calculator ended up making the slide rule obsolete, just as the slide rule made the abaci obsolete. So mechanical computers are similar to abaci and slide rule because of the fact that they do compute mechanical calculations without any electricity. These were mainly good for mechanical counting. In addition, you can kind of attribute that to how they work. The interior is filled with clockwork-like gears that per cycle or per full rotation, they will incrementally add 1 unit to the sum or one value to the sum. And these were also made obsolete by electronic calculators. No surprise